Hello, everyone. Welcome to the People of Nature podcast, a specially designed podcast on conservation optimism to bring forth the unheard voices from the Indian conservation landscape. Today, we have a special guest with us, Dr. Peerzada Ishtiyak Ahmed, all the way from Kashmir, the land of paradise. Welcome, Dr. Ishtiyak, to the People of Nature podcast.
Hi, hello. Thank you so much, Dr. Gaj, for having me here for this podcast today.
So, for our audience, let me introduce you, Doc. Dr. Ishtiyak is a doctorate in forestry from Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, India. He has contributed to the contemporary projects on forest conservation, certification, climate change adaptation, ABS of genetic resources, NTFPs vis-a-vis medicinal plants, and bioeconomy for livelihood improvement across South Asia, Middle East, and Sub-Saharan Africa. Dr. Ishtiaq has also advised the German Development Corporation, GIZ, for its prestigious Access and Benefit Sharing bilateral project. Prior to joining the Faculty of Forestry, he served briefly as Deputy Director, RCFC, North 2 of NMPB, Government of India. Apart from teaching, research, and extension activities, Dr. Ishtiaq is imparting ASCI certified skill development training on medicinal plants to unemployed youth of Kashmir since 2018. Presently, he is working as an assistant professor cum scientist and principal investigator cum project lead of Center of Excellence on Herbal Technology at Faculty of Forestry, SKU AST, Kashmir. I must say that is a fascinating biodoc. It briefly captures the work you're doing. So, welcome once again to the People of Nature podcast.
Thank you so much.
So, let's head on to the questions. Let's hear from you about your work, your journey, and different challenges you might have faced in this entire journey. So, my first question to you, Dr. Ishtiaq, you are trained in forestry as a doctorate from the Forest Research Institute. Could you tell us briefly about your PhD work?
Yes, sure. Throughout my academic journey, I developed a keen interest in comprehending the decision-making processes involved in forest restoration, management, and their contributions to the sustainable development. It was, in fact, during my master's and doctoral studies that I explored into the realm of NTFPs, that are non-timber forest products and medicinal plants. This period increased my awareness of the vital role played by NTFPs and medicinal plants in supporting the livelihoods of rural communities and generating revenue from forestry resources, all while effectively managing forests for climate change adaptation. During my PhD, my focus was particularly drawn to the conservation of two significant medicinal tree species, that is Texas Valley China, subspecies Contorata, as far as northwestern Himalayan region is concerned, and Rhododendron arboreum, which is the state tree of Uttarakhand. I worked across the Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, and Jammu and Kashmir during that period. I dedicated myself to developing conservation strategies mean to preserving these species. Additionally, I successfully developed a new in situ propagation technique for both Texas Valley China and Rhododendron arboreum, ultimately contributing to the advancement of sustainable practices in forest management.
Wow, that's a lot actually to hear from you. And in fact, I would say it's a very interesting piece of research work that you have conducted. It looks very evident from your PhD work that connects the dots about your interest in forest conservation. I must say.
Yeah.
So you have worked in the forest conservation in India as well as in Africa. So what are the similarities or differences regarding forest conservation issues in both these regions?
Yes, soon after completing my doctoral program in 2011, I embarked on a new chapter of my career by joining Citran Consulting Limited, initially at Kolkata,
Okay.
and later on I was shifted to New Delhi as a consultant
Mhm.
specializing in forestry and environmental matters. During my
Okay.
tenure, I undertook several significant projects focusing on natural resource management, forest certification, carbon forestry, and climate change adaptation, both within India and Kenya, as you have already said
Yeah.
in my introduction.
Right.
In India, my contributions were instrumental in the formulation of climate change action plans for various states, including Manipur, Tripura, and Mizoram. That time I was based in Kolkata and I was responsible for the states, northeastern states of our country. Meanwhile,
Mhm.
in Kenya, our consultancy supported the government of Kenya in developing biggest ARCDM and RED Plus projects for the conservation of Mao and everyday forest regions. Through these experiences, I gained invaluable insights into the complex and challenging interactions between diverse environments and human activities. These interactions have the potential to exert deep impacts on the physical, biological, and social landscapes. It became actually apparent to me that there exists a substantial disparity in forest conservation approaches between these two countries. While India boasts a robust policy and legal framework for conservation,
Mhm.
particularly
Mhm.
forest conservation. We have Forest Acts way back from the 1927. And as far as
Right.
Kenya is concerned, Kenya stands out for its well-established forests and wildlife management system on ground. The Kenyan Forest Department is outstandingly equipped with cutting-edge technology and tools driven by the significant revenue generated from wildlife safaris and tourism. That is a stark contrast to the Indian context.
Oh, I see. So there is a lot of difference as you see on between African and Indians, side.
Yes,
That's pretty
yes.
interesting.
When we visited first time for having a brief
Mhm.
survey, and they offered us choppers. So
Oh,
that was quite a
yeah,
different experience for me. Yeah. So here in
yeah,
India,
that's
our
amazing.
forests keep on burning, and it takes us several weeks and sometimes months to dodge that forest, and we are not able to control
Right.
it. So that is where we are, despite having such a great policy and legal mechanism with us.
Mhm. Right. Wow. So that's an amazing experience to share. I mean, I never thought that there would be such a difference in the way people look at the landscape or the resources that they have.
Yes.
So
Yes.
amazing, really. So you have been mentioning about sustainable development and community participation in forest conservation. So my next question is about that. So how successful have you been using seed banks and greenhouses to aid in plant conservation? And are there any particular endangered species that you are targeting?
Yes, for the past 15 years, I have actually dedicated myself to the conservation and management of rare, endangered, and threatened species of medicinal aromatic plants across the northwestern Himalayan region, not only in J&K. But as far
Okay.
as Jammu and
Right.
Kashmir is concerned, our efforts have yielded significant results in conserving more than 100 species of medicinal aromatic plants across various locations. But
Wow.
thanks to the collaborative efforts of local communities and government departments, you are not going to do this alone. It's not possible.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
particularly, our partnerships with the J&K Forest Department have led
Mhm.
to the establishment of first medicinal plants conservation block in the Langate Forest Division. And similarly, we have also developed one of the biggest herbal gardens at Gurez. It is near the India-Pakistan border in the Bandipora
Okay.
district of Jammu and Kashmir. Yes, we have done it in collaboration with the Department of Ayush, J&K, and further initiatives such as medicinal aromatic plants germplasm bank at our faculty of forestry coast Kashmir, which has been supported by the organizations like National Medicine Plant Board, SERB, Government of
Mhm.
India, DASD Calicut, and Jammu and
I
Kashmir
see.
Agricultural Production Department. We have actually successfully implemented the XC2 conservation measures for
Mhm.
numerous crucial species, such as Aconitum heterophyllum, Nibia benthami, Susuria costus, Picrorhiza curva, Annulla racemosa, and number of species are there. All of these are
Mhm.
endangered due to their overexploitation and declining natural populations. We have also established comprehensive models for the cultivation and commercial utilization of exotic species like lavender and rosemary in Kashmir. These
Okay.
models include the entire value chain from cultivation to product development, showcasing our efforts to
Mhm.
establish sustainable practices for economically significant species. And
Oh.
I'm happy to share with you that the government of Jammu and Kashmir, after actually they have what they have actually seen what we have been doing for the last one and a
Mhm.
half decade here in Kashmir, they have
Yeah.
actually given us one of the biggest projects worth
Oh.
62 crore rupees for
Wow.
promoting the commercial cultivation of medicinal aromatic plants in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Government of Jammu and Kashmir, particularly our central government, uh, uh,
Mhm.
uh, Modi government has been generous enough to fund
Okay.
us this project, where we are
Okay.
actually helping the government with the promotion of medicinal aromatic plants cultivation
Mhm.
for the farmers. And we have also
I see.
established a Center of Excellence on Herbal Technology with that support at our Faculty of Forestry. Yes, that's what we have.
Wow, that's big. Congratulations to your team.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It has been given to my
But
team, and I'm, of course, the principal instigator of this project. I'm the lead for that. But
yes.
we have departments like Agriculture Production Department Jammu and Agriculture Production Department Kashmir, and Sukast Jammu and Sukast Kashmir with us. Yes.
Mhm. Wow, that's an amazing effort, and of course, amazing recognition by the government.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think it's going in the right direction, right? I mean,
Yes,
what you
we
have
are
been.
trying. We are trying, and government has been very sincere and genuine in this effort. Yes, it's
Mhm.
because of their support we have been able to do
Right.
this. And this project has been started since 2023-24, and this is the second year of
Okay.
this. And we have already
Okay.
done a lot of work in this regard. Yes.
Yes. With a lot of money comes a lot of responsibility. I
Yes.
understand that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
First time when we have seen, yes, I used to get funding from DST, Government of India, National Medicine Plant Board, and
Mhm.
other funding agencies. But this is first time when we
Yes.
have got such a huge grant. Yes.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. So, I mean, I'll now come down to all these different wild species we are having out there in Himalayas, and you're an IUCN member, so you must be having a good experience as such regarding the IUCN assessments. So, can you tell us, in your opinion, what has been the status in the Himalayan region, especially about the plants of Himalayas? Has the distribution of Himalayan plants been adequately assessed, or data is still deficient when it comes to the IUCN Red List?
Yes, since 2013, I have had the privilege of being member of two esteemed commissions within the IUCN, the Commission on Ecosystem
Mhm.
Management and the World Commission on Protected Areas. This engagement has been invaluable to me as it has offered a rich learning experience. Being part of the IUCN provides a matchless platform for interaction and knowledge exchange with global experts. It ensures that I stay abreast of the latest developments and advancement in my area of expertise. One of the significant
Mhm.
contributions of the IUCN, which I see, has been its extensive work on assessing the threat stats of global biodiversity. However,
Yeah.
there is still much ground to cover, as you have said,
Yes.
particularly concerning the flora of our Himalayan region. There
Mhm.
remains a pressing need for further efforts to comprehensively assess and address the conservation challenges unique to this ecologically diverse and important area.
Yeah. So why do you think there is a gap?
There is a gap because of two reasons. One is that, as we know, that IUCN is a voluntary organization. Even though they have
Yeah.
developed criteria and indicator for assessing the threat
Mhm.
status of the species, it is ultimately up to the authority of that particular region who
Correct. Yeah.
really wants to take leverage of that available criteria and indicators or the set of indicators which have been devised for the whole,
Mhm.
I think all the countries of the world. But we have to
Yes.
customize as per our requirement and need, and it's up to us. It's up to our government where we want to
Mhm.
leverage that available criteria and indicators for assessing the threat stats of our species. Number one. Number two, our region is
Mhm.
diverse. It is fragile. It's always
Right.
difficult whenever we want to conduct such kind of studies in our area. We
Right.
have
Right.
to devise and decentralize our program. Okay, it's not possible
Mhm.
for us to cover this fragile ecosystem within the set time frame. So that's why sometimes it becomes difficult because we have a huge,
Ah,
difficult terrain here. And sometimes it may be because due to the lack of coordination between the different states, because whatever species are available in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, you will find similar, or sometimes they may be different. But most of the time, as we have, as far
mhm.
as aromatic plant biodiversity is concerned, it is similar
Mhm.
across northwestern Himalayan states, particularly Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. So
Yeah.
that is the
So I
gap.
agree. I agree with you with both these points that there's still a lot of ground to cover, and yeah,
Yes, a lot
willingness
more
to
needs to be
participate is
done.
something.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
and the remoteness of our areas is another challenge that we face.
Challenge.
Of course,
Yes.
funding comes as the third big challenge. So
Yes.
yeah, wow. So I'll move on to my next question. And since now I see that you have been also working a lot with the government agencies In fact, you were a deputy director with National Medicinal Plants Board in your during your career. So, how was the experience working with the government as an officer over there? And which government initiatives has been started to conserve medicinal plants?
Yes, in my role as a deputy director of RCFC North Second, even though it was for a brief period, I was assigned
Mhm.
with the task of setting up this center in Jammu and Kashmir. So before that, there
Right.
was no RCFC in J&K. The primary objective of establishing this regional center was to serve as a comprehensive resource hub, providing a
Mhm.
singular point of contact for the promotion of medicine plants and the various schemes which were run by National
Mhm.
Medicine Plant Board, Government of India. As an integral regional arm of NMPB, our core mission was to raise awareness and facilitate the
Okay.
implementation of National Mission on Medicine Plants within the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Yes, our primary target audience was farmers who were interested in
Mhm.
cultivating, processing, and trade of medicine plant products. And to support them, we offered extensive trainings and mentorship programs covering aspects from cultivation techniques to harvesting and commercial trading
Okay.
practices. Yes, additionally, we took a significant step by establishing one of the largest medicinal plant production nurseries in North India, which is
Oh,
located at the Faculty of Agriculture, Skast Kashmir, Wadura, Jammu and Kashmir. Yes. And I'm
okay.
pleased to place on record that this nursery has successfully propagated plant material for
Mhm.
numerous significant and endangered medicine plant species in millions. And we still have that. Yes,
Oh,
people from across the country, across the different, we have actually National Medicine Plant Board has around six regional facilitation centers across the country
mhm.
in different
Okay.
regions because they actually, it was kind of sub office of National Medicine Plant Board, so that the schemes of National Medicine Plant Board will reach
Mhm.
every nook and corner of the country. Yes, and everyone has till date appreciated the work done by the RCFC second, which is located in Jammu and Kashmir.
Wow, I mean, that sounds like a very huge facility, and so much work has been, into it.
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, I would request you and the team
Mhm.
from Nature for
Yeah.
People that you must visit Kashmir Valley and you must take the first-hand stock of the work done by this Kast Kashmir and the RCFC North too.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah, I would be most delighted to visit Kashmir and,
yes,
look at all these different initiatives which are out there.
yes,
So, I
yes.
mean, amazing. So, heading to the next question, I mean, we have been talking a lot about conservation of medicinal plants and all. I mean, that is, let's keep it a bit apart. But we all know that there has been overexploitation of a lot of wild medicinal plants, which is happening for various purposes. And many medicinal plants from the Himalayan regions are also endangered. So, in the long term, what do you think? What strategies the researchers or the laymen, communities, and the government should plan so that these medicinal plants survive in the long term and also can be utilized in a sustainable manner?
You are absolutely correct in noting that nearly all the traded species of Himalayan medicine plants face various levels of
Mhm.
threat due to unchecked
Yeah.
overexploitation from their natural habitats. Yes, the primary and most urgent action required is to halt their uncontrolled harvesting from the wild.
Mhm.
And a crucial subsequent step involves actively promoting their commercial cultivation, coupled with efforts to restock their natural habitats through assisted natural regeneration techniques. Simultaneously, it's imperative to advocate for sustainable harvesting and collection practices. In this
Mhm.
regard, the Forest Department or the controlling authority assumes a key role. They must establish sustainable harvesting protocols for each species and try to implement rotational harvesting schedules within protected areas or forest areas. This proactive management
Okay.
approach can help ensure the long-term viability and ecological health of these invaluable medicine plants population across Himalayas.
Mhm. Right. So you're pointing that all these different stakeholders should work together and
Yes, yes, it's the
yeah.
need of our, yes, it's obligatory now. It's not voluntary now.
Mhm.
If we
Yes.
really want to save these precious resources, we have to come together. There has to be
Yeah.
collaboration. Without collaboration, an individual can never be able to stop this degradation of our natural resources. Yes.
Right. So what you're talking about the medicinal plant, I think it also goes with the NTFP, the non-timber forest produce that you talked earlier about. So, and you also mentioned that you have been working. So NTFP has been one of those expertise that you have developed over the years. So how are you working with the local communities towards sustainable NTFP collection?
Yes, NTFPs are actually goods of biological origin, including medicinal plants, mushrooms, and animal products, excluding timber, sourced from forests and other wooded areas. This particular
Mhm.
sector holds a special place in my heart as I have witnessed
Okay.
its potential to uplift the livelihoods of forest-rich communities across our nation.
Mhm.
With significant economic importance, particularly for the world's rural poor, NTFPs are actually used, consumed, and traded by nearly 1.5 billion people globally. In developing
Wow.
countries, particularly,
Huge.
approximately 80% of the population relies on plant based traditional systems of medicine for primary health care. In
Oh.
J&K also, NTFPs are a vital source of income and employment generation for over 60% of the population. Actually, this data has been generated through one of my studies, which was sponsored by Scientific and Engineering Research Board, Government of India, way back in
Okay.
2013 to 16. Yes,
Oh, I
the
see.
lives of
Yeah.
rural communities, particularly nomadic tribes like Gujars and Bakarwals on forest resources,
Mhm.
underscores the significant contribution of NTFPs to the local economy in this region. I am delighted to
Right.
share that the government of Jammu and Kashmir adopted my research findings and
Mhm.
recommendations, resulting in the formulation of the region's first comprehensive NTFP policy. Yes, this
Oh,
policy has
interesting.
unfolded avenues for local communities to engage in sustainable collection, value addition, and marketing of NTFPs sourced from the forests
Okay.
of Jammu and Kashmir. Yes, the government's intervention has actually mitigated the exploitation previously faced by local communities at the hands of middlemen,
Mhm.
marking a positive stride forward in this region. Yes, and we have successfully established the first Marchla-based forest cooperative in Sindh Forest
Mhm.
Division of J&K, and this initiative has empowered local communities to undertake collection, value addition, and marketing of the prized fungus called commonly known as gucci, Marchla esculenta. It is one of the prized
Okay.
species, yes, and has a demand of more than 100 metric ton in our national market.
Oh,
Per kg Gucci sells between 10,000 to 20,000 rupees. So you can
wow.
understand
Mm.
its trade
Very
dynamic.
costly.
It has emerged as a replicable model now, yes, with the
Uh,
forest department planning to implement similar cooperative frameworks across other forest divisions of J&K.
wow. I mean, this is definitely a big conservation and success story that we are all listening to, and I think.
Yes, yes, and the success story has already been submitted to the Honorable Prime Minister's office because when
Okay.
our Honorable PM last time visited in the February
Mhm.
of this year, Jammu
Okay.
and Kashmir, and actually the government was very pleased to hear the success story. Earlier, people used to collect these species from the forest and
Mhm.
they used to hand it
Yeah.
over to middlemen, and middlemen were exploiting them and giving them the
Okay.
eager, yes, actually the peanuts, and they would actually earn a lot of money out of it. And
Right.
we suggested the government, no, instead of giving these resources and giving, they were actually government was doing this through the tendering process. We suggested them
Okay.
instead of giving tender to someone else, why not to involve the local communities? Why not to empower them so
Mhm.
that they can
Right.
extract it from the forest and then do the trade by themselves instead of
Right.
someone else in their domain. And
Yeah.
luckily, government agreed to this, and we have already done this, and we started this project in 2022. And by 2024, we have already established this first cooperative. Yes.
Mhm. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I'm very glad to see that the government is taking keen interest in all these projects, and
People are
with that
listening.
support,
Yes, that is a huge
yeah, I
difference.
mean,
Yes, what we have
yes,
seen
yes, yes,
in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, government is
yeah,
listening. Actually, yes, they hear you, and they
yes,
just try to leverage your expertise and for the benefit
correct,
of
yeah.
local farming community. Yes, that is a huge
Wow, I
difference.
mean, that's an amazing story. I mean, this is what exactly we are looking for. We are looking for all these
Yes, that's
optimism
why I
stories.
requested you earlier as well. I'm requesting you again. Please come to us. Please
Mhm.
visit us, our campus, and
Yes,
be our guest here. And we will actually take you to these local communities and show you how they are doing it.
yeah. So it's an open invitation to all our audience, not just me.
Yes, it's open
Anyone can
invitation
come down.
for audience as well. Yes, yes. Definitely,
Yeah,
yes.
or rather than go up north, I would say, rather than saying come down. So yes,
Yes.
go up north, explore Kashmir Valley, go and see these beautiful
Yes, yes,
facilities
because
developed over
this
there.
is, as you have said in your opening remarks as well, this is a beautiful place to visit. Yes, particularly in
Yeah.
this summer. Yes. Apart from that,
So
and we can have a
um,
first-hand learning experience
amazing.
from the videos. Yes.
I mean, I can start. I can imagine actually, what must be happening over there. So
Yes.
yeah, if not physically, at least mentally, I want to be there and I want to see what all things are happening. All those,
You're most
the
welcome
beautiful
whenever
forest
you
and
plan to be here.
Himalayas in the background. Wow. So, I mean, this has been a fantastic work that you have been doing, Dr. Ishtiak. And I mean, we are seeing that there are all these different initiatives in which communities are involved, researchers are involved, government is involved. Now, I'll come down to some of these questions that perhaps would explore about your journey as a person who is working as a male researcher working in the remote areas in Kashmir. And we all know that Kashmir is a conflict zone, conflict
Mm.
prone zone. So
True.
have you faced any challenges to conduct research over there, or what have been your experience as such?
Yeah, it is definitely there. First of all, it's not about male researcher. There are so many good
Mhm.
female researchers working over here
Yes.
for so many time. Yes. Given the nature of my research focus, actually, which demands operations in remote areas and villages to
Mhm.
meet the project deadlines can pose challenges, in fact, particularly when local geopolitical factors, which you have already said, come into play.
Yeah.
Traveling to the depths of the forest areas in remote parts of Jammu and
Mhm.
Kashmir often requires obtaining permission from the both civil and military administration.
Okay.
Yes, delays in securing these permissions can
Mhm.
significantly impact our work, especially when
Yeah.
conducting resource assessments and collecting medicinal plant specimen for proper
Right.
identification and chemical characterization, which are typically seasonal endeavors,
Mhm.
particularly
Yes.
high altitude species. Any delays in obtaining permission can disrupt our timelines severely. Consequently, what
Right.
should ideally be completed within a year may extend sometimes to up to 2 or more years due to these
Oh,
unforeseen delays. Yes,
I
it's
see. I
sometimes
see.
also risky for our team to venture into the forests which are near
Right.
borders or some disturbed areas. Yeah, it is difficult,
Mhm.
but that is how you have to grow up. And
Yeah.
if you're able to work in difficult situations and come up with some solution for the local community, I think that is the biggest satisfaction which you get.
Yeah. So I mean, great to hear that though there are a lot of challenges you face on ground, but the research never stops, and
Yes,
you
should
just
not.
go ahead, do it, even if it
Yes,
takes one extra year. We just have to do it.
we have to do it. Yes, we cannot back down.
Wow, that's so similar experience was shared earlier by Dr. Meherin Khalil, who was one of our podcast speaker.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
she also had a similar experience, and additionally, being a women researcher, there were
Yeah,
some other,
it is a
more
bit
restrictions.
difficult for them. Yes, yes. I have
Yeah.
actually, whenever I venture into the forest areas, particularly, I would like to share one of the experiences.
Mhm.
I have actually done the survey one of the Bangas Valley. Um, uh, it is near the border, in fact, near the
Okay.
India-Pakistan, in the district of Flora.
Mhm.
But it is one of the beautiful valleys. It
Mhm.
used to be unexplored areas by then, but now it has
Right.
been opened for the tourists, and now people are going there, and there
Okay.
is a road
Okay.
connectivity now. That time there was no road connectivity, and there was
Mhm.
no actually there was no arrangement for where you can stay for several nights.
Right.
And I used to take permission from them. There was one of my friend in army, and I used to stay with them in their barracks.
Okay. Oh.
Sometimes I I have been actually staying with the nomadic people, these Gujar and Baltal
Okay.
communities. Yes. So
Wow.
ultimately, it is that experience which helps
Mhm.
you to grow up and
Right.
yes, to understand the local nitty-gritties. And you have to be in touch
Mhm.
with both, whether it's army or the security
Right.
agencies or the local tribal communities, because they are the actual
Mhm.
people who know the local nitty-gritties of that particular area. So
Yes.
it's important for you to have a good
Mhm.
communication with them. So then and only
Yeah.
you'll be able to successfully do your work.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is also one of the reasons why the plants of Kashmir region or Himalayan region, which falls in Kashmir area, are also, there looks like a gap in the research over there, because it's pretty
Yes,
hard to do research over there.
yes,
It's
that's
not
true. You're
just like any
absolutely
other
correct.
place where one can
Yes,
get permits and one can do research.
yes,
So I think
yes,
that is also another big challenge over there.
yes, yes, yes.
Wow. So, I mean, despite all these odds, we see that you are doing excellent work, and so many things are translated into conservation, which does not happen most of the time, because research happens and then there is no connection to the conservation.
True,
But
that's true.
we are
We are
seeing that
trying our best. Yes, that's
we
what
are
we
seeing
can.
that it's actually implemented. So I think that's really great. I mean,
Thank you.
you can see the fruits.
Yes,
And in botanical terms, you can see the fruits of your work. So that's
yes,
great.
yes.
So, Dr. Ishtiyak, you're also mentoring a lot of students, masters, PhD level students. So, what is your observation about this current generation of researchers who are engaged in forestry research or wildlife conservation research? Working with you, or maybe you know them. Overall, what is your observation?
Yeah, certainly. In mentoring students in the conservation field, I have observed several positives and negative aspects. While
Okay.
today's students bring enthusiasm, innovation, and technical skills to the field of conservation,
Mhm.
they also face challenges like impatience, limited experience, funding constraints,
Mhm.
times, and communication barriers. I think
Right.
addressing these
Right.
challenges through mentorship and practical training and interdisciplinary collaboration can help prepare the next gen conservation leaders.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, what you're saying, I agree with that. So over the years, over the time, it builds up. I think this capacity of understanding,
Yes,
comprehending why we are doing this, and
exactly.
that's
Proper,
how
yes,
to
clear
boost our.
understanding. Yes, yes. It should not be for the sake of obtaining a degree. That's what my
Yes,
concern is right
yes,
now. Yeah,
true,
but
true.
either
Yeah.
you need to have passion for what you are doing. Because we have
Mm.
seen since we are running graduate courses in forestry here, most of the time people are actually they even though because we have entrance system here and we get
Mhm.
candidates from throughout the country and we have
Correct. Yeah.
outside yes some our students are from outside the country as well
Mhm.
because we have a quota for ICR as well. Since
Okay.
we're agriculture university, yes, our we have some percentage for the ICR candidates who appear for the admissions in the ICR system through
Okay.
the examination conducted by ICR. We
Right.
get
Right. Yeah.
students from other states and countries as well. But most of the time, what I have seen is that when we get candidates for our undergraduate program, these students who have come from different states or different districts of the Jammu and Kashmir, they still try to write for the NEET examination because they have somehow their
Okay.
dream of becoming the doctor or engineer. That is what I have been telling to them. Either you have to be completely, your body and soul has to be with the forestry, or
Mhm.
you
Right.
leave it and work for some other field which you want. It
Yeah.
should not you have got admission in this college and you're still trying for some
Yeah.
other thing. So that should not be there. You should not come here half-heartedly. It has to
Correct.
be a
Yeah.
wholehearted effort, and then only you will
Yeah.
be able to get success. Yeah, that is the concern right now.
Yeah. So focus matters. No distractions.
Focus matters. Yes, focus matters. Yes.
So I'm coming down to my last question now. It was a wonderful time discussing with so many things about your work, and the results that we see, from your work. So
Thank you so
being
much.
a senior researcher, um, what message would you like to give to our audience and all these budding conservationists?
Okay, my message to eco-focused listeners and budding conservationists would be I would actually try to link it with my earlier question. We have to actually
Mhm.
embrace complexity.
Yeah.
Conservation is a multi-dimensional and complex field, and it requires
Mhm.
understanding of ecological, social, economic, and political factors. Embrace this
Yeah.
complexity and seek interdisciplinary approach to address conservation challenges effectively. Number one. Number two,
Mhm.
I would request all the budding colleagues to foster collaborations. Collaboration is the key to successful conservation outcomes. Work with diverse stakeholders, including scientists, policymakers, local communities, and NGOs, to leverage the collective expertise and resources. Number three, uphold ethical principles in your conservation work, including respect for biodiversity, social justice and norms, and rights of indigenous and local communities. Ensure that your actions are guided by integrity, fairness, and compassion. And number fourth, last but not the least, despite the challenges we face, maintain hope and resilience in the face of adversity. Every human being's action contributes to the collective effort to conserve and restore our planet's precious ecosystem. Together, we can create a sustainable future for all life on Earth.
Wow, that's I think that's pretty comprehensive, and I think we have really given a wholesome of experience to what conservation science would be, based on sound research, based on dedication, community participation, multi-stakeholder engagement, and it is
Yes,
not just pure science; it is almost a blend of science and art, where we need
exactly,
to do so many things together.
exactly.
Amazing, amazing. So, Dr. Ishtiak, our time is limited, but I think we had much wonderful discussion today. I personally enjoyed it because, I mean, as a researcher, I can see that in most of our universities, most research institutes, research is limited to the lab and it does not translate into on-ground conservation.
True,
But
true,
in your example, you're showing that it actually can be, and government plays a very important role as well as all these other big stakeholders which are involved in it.
true. That's
So
true. Thank you so much.
amazing, amazing.
I have enjoyed this communication, this discussion with you. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. And because actually, I have gone through your website. You are doing wonderful job, and
Thank you.
this is the need of the hour. Okay, otherwise people will would never see your research publications. Okay, that is the
Yes,
best thing which you are doing today, and you have been doing this for for the long time now. And I think you are
yes,
doing a wonderful job, and I must congratulate to you and your whole team for doing this. And because this is the best mechanism to reach out to the larger audience.
yes.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks a lot for that acknowledgements. The length of the paper, yeah. So, I mean, amazing, wonderful discussion with you, Dr. Ishtiaq. Thank you once again from the team of People of Nature.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.